Good morning, children. How are you all? Let us discuss about the Class 7 syllabus of third term. It includes Unit 9, A Voice in Dark, The Lake of Mystery, Unit 10, Export Quality, Daffodils, Unit 11, Hitchhiker, The North Ship, Unit 12, Julius Caesar. What you have to do is first make sure that you have made a proper page, title page of the third term. Index should be there in your copy. If it is there in the starting of your copy, then it's okay. And it has some place as well for the third term, then it's okay. Otherwise, made a new one just after the title page of the third term. After that, you will write the syllabus. Do not write it as it is, but only write the chapter's name with the unit numbers. Let us cover our chapter A Voice in the Dark, Unit 9, page 103. It has some difficult meanings. Let us see. Bide means to wait. Car in the US. Car is called the railway carriage. Deliberately, slowly, and thoughtfully. Indifferent, not bothered, not thinking something is either good or bad. Insignificant, unimportant. Irresolute, undecided, hesitating. Maimed, crippled. Jack has only three fingers on one hand. Means Jack is a person who has maimed fingers. Maimed fingers means he has only three fingers in his hand. My companion. Companion means the narrator. W.H. Davies is traveling with a friend called Three Fingered Jack. They are trying to get on trains without paying for tickets. Companion means a person who is with you on the journey. Relinquished, let go, or to released. Sensation, a stirring of the emotions and interest of many people. To beat, to take a ride on. Now the story begins like this. The snow was still deep and the mornings and evenings cold when, a week after this, we reached Ottawa. A person is explaining his story. He is with his companion. They both were traveling towards Ottawa. This slow traveling was not at all to my liking, and I often persuaded my companion to make more haste towards Winnipeg. This he agreed to do. So the next morning, we jumped a freight train, determined to hold it for a whole day. Unfortunately, it was simply a local train, and being very slow, having to stop on the way at every insignificant little station, we left it at a town called Renfrew, intending that night to beat a fast overland passenger train, which would convey us 400 or 500 miles before daybreak. What is the story about? There were two people who were traveling in the train. The train was so slow. It was so extremely slow, which a person won't like. He asked his companion that he won't like this journey. He wished to he wished to get into the another one. His companion agreed to do so. So the next morning, they jumped into the another train and they had planned that they will travel in that train for the whole day. But it wasn't happen, unfortunately, because it was simply a local train and it was also very slow. So they have decided to get jumped from that, and they have left that train on the station called Renfrew. Then they have planned to travel on the passenger train in which they will be able to reach by the day around 4 to 500 miles of their journey. With this object, we sat in the station's waiting room until evening. And then, some 20 minutes before the train became due, slipped out unobserved and took possession of an empty car. They have decided such things, and for that, they were being waiting on the waiting room of the station. They were waiting for the train, but unfortunately, the train became due. It becomes late 20 minutes. Then they took possession on the empty car, which was there at the some distance away, from which place we could see the train coming and yet be unseen from the station's platform. This train would soon arrive, for passengers were already passing the platform. The luggage was placed in readiness, and a number of curious people, having nothing else to do, had assembled here to see the coming and going of the train. At last, we heard its whistle, and looking out, we saw the headlight in the distance drawing nearer and nearer. It steamed into the station without making much noise, for the rails were slippery, there still being much ice and snow on the track. They got possession on the empty car for watching the train. They started to watch the train. Suddenly, they saw that the train is coming by. There were some passengers also standing nearer there, which were not having any work to do. They were just waiting for the train. They just wait and see when the train came, when the train goes away. So they were just standing and watching everything. While while there, the train came, and it came and it started to came nearer and nearer. There was all snow spreading there on the tracks as well, on the station as well. The roads were slippery, etc. Then he asked, "What happened?" "Come," I said to Jack. "There is no time to lose." And we quickly jumped out of the empty car. This fast passenger train carried a blind baggage car, which means that the end nearest to the engine was blind in having no door. Our object was to suddenly appear from a hiding place, darkness being favorable, and leap on the step of this car, and from that place to the platform. This being done when the train was in motion, knowing that the conductor, who was always on the watch for such doings, rarely stopped the train to put man off, even when sure of their presence. As you know that the two men were traveling without tickets, so they wanted to get hide from the ticket man, from the passengers as well. So they jumped from their empty car without losing any time into the passengers train, which was fast. They jumped into the area which was the engine's area where there is no door, and they hide themselves there. There was a darkened place which was favorable for them at that time. They have planned they have planned that they will jump from the train, and when the conductor finishes his work, they will get into the train again. What happened then? They were doing so because if he saw us before the train started, he would certainly take means to prevent us from riding. When he had once taken possession of this car, no man could approach us until we reached the next stopping place, which would probably be 50 miles or much more. At that place, we would dismount, conceal ourselves, and, when it was again in motion, make another leap of our former place. Of course, the engineer and fireman could reach us, but these men were always indifferent and never interfered, their business being ahead instead of behind the engine. As they both have made plan of everything, they have decided to get into the train again when it will be in motion. They have thought that the fireman and the driver was there, but They wouldn't get feared from them because they both were busy with their works, the engineer and the fireman. They could reach them, but they would be busy with their works, so they wouldn't try to reach them. Till here, we will keep this. By tomorrow, we'll gonna start from the next para. Till then, read the remaining paragraphs thoroughly. Take care.